Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying out a new brand. At least it's new to me. I believe this brand's been out for a little while. But to be honest, I feel like it's not talked about all that much. There's a couple beauty YouTubers who have more eclectic collections who I do hear mention this. But basically what I'll say is this. It's not an easily accessible brand in terms of being in stores. It was something that I had to look for online, but I'm really excited. So I picked up, how many pieces did I pick up? 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces from Oden's Eye, and I am so excited about it. Today we're only going to play with, I think, 3, but if this is something you guys enjoy, I would be happy to do more in the future. So the first thing that we're going to try out, I did pick up one highlighting powder. So this is the Oden's Eye Norns Mesmerizer Web of Destiny. I believe that's the name. So first of all, the packaging of all of the products is just freaking stunning. Now, the gist that I get of all of the names of everything, Oden is basically like the Zeus equivalent to a Norse god. He is like the king of the gods in Norse mythology. So Norn is, I believe, a goddess. I'm not 100% sure. My sort of area of mythology is more the Greek Roman style. But I do know a little bit about Norse mythology. Honestly, a lot of it is just from watching Vikings. So I don't know a ton of these names. I know some of them, but I think that that's where this is coming from. That's just my assumption. I could be completely wrong, and if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me down below. So like I said, I picked up one highlighting powder. There were 3 available, I think, but this was the one that I thought would work the best for me. This is what it looks like. So it's kind of like a champagne-y gold with some bits of pink reflect into it. I am going to do a finger swatch it on my hand/arm, and then we're going to put it on my face. You've probably noticed I have like bare minimum face makeup on right now, and that was so that I could try out a bunch of these products. So once again, here it is, just without the clear plastic coating. I'm hoping you guys can see some of the reflect. I'm hoping that when I swatch this, oh, that's really nice. Okay, so what I'm really happy about, you don't lose all the pattern. It's a little more blurry in the middle, but you don't lose that kind of like geode marble sort of look. This is what it looks like right here. It's very soft. It's very champagne-y. There's definitely some pink to it. It's showing up a little bit different kind of on camera, and as my light's adjusting, I'm sure you can sort of see it in a different light depending on how much light is hitting it. So it's kind of one of those like multifaceted ones that are going to pick up different colors depending on, you know, the day and whatever. So that's it right there. Hopefully you guys can see it. If my frickin' camera will. There we go. Right there. So really pretty, really soft. Let's put it on the face. I have my highlighting brush right here. Really excited. So it is very soft, but what I will say is it's also kind of like hard packed. And that's not a bad thing. It basically just means that like you're not going to get a ton of fallout. Is that even showing up? A little bit. I am wondering, because of the texture of this, if this is one of those. Nope, it is showing up for sure. I think it's just a little bit subtle. There is some glitter. Here's where you can always tell. I find that whenever I put highlighter down my nose, it always picks up the best. It might be one of those ones that goes on the best just with your finger, because it does have a bit of a firmer texture, but that's something I'll just have to figure out. They did send a brush with it. I don't think you normally get this brush. I don't know if it was like a free gift with purchase kind of thing, but they did send me this double-ended face brush here. So on one end you get like a flat end. I will just say that like it's already kind of falling apart, which is, it's okay. I'll just like hot glue it back together or something. So not the best of quality of a brush. It honestly feels a little bit cheapy. That's just my personal opinion. But like I said, I didn't purchase this. It was just sent to me. So I don't know if one of those brushes would work better for highlighter. I'm not too sure. The next thing we're going to talk about is palettes. I picked up 4 different eyeshadow palettes. They are a fairly affordable brand. I didn't find them outrageously expensive. While I can't remember the cost of these off the top of my head, I will link them all down below with their price point. So I'm going to show you all 4 of the ones I got, and then we're going to pick one to do a look with. I'm not going to be using all of them in this video, which is why I said if this is a brand you're interested in, let me know and I will do subsequent videos. So the first one I got is the Alva 2 Mini Forest palette. So this is the smallest palette I got. Once again, the packaging is just so, so pretty. There's so many like subtleties in it that you really have to look for. Like I don't know if my camera's gonna focus on it. There's like a female, there's like a deer, stag, whatever. There we go. Maybe you can see now that it's kind of gotten a little dimmer. So, so beautiful, this packaging. So like I said, this is the mini forest palette. They had several like this. There was like a mini oceans and whatever. This is just the one that spoke the most to me. It was just the most fun. This is one of those palettes. It kind of reminds me slightly of the Selena Gomez Rare Beauty palette, the one that I had at once upon a time. It's got a lot of shimmers in it, but it does also have this brown matte, which kind of, to me, is a stabilizer in it, and this bright blue is also matte. I just thought it was really fun. There are definitely 6-pan palettes, or yeah, I'd call this a 6. It's 5 pans, but since the middle one's split in 2, you get 6 shades. So there are definitely palettes that are maybe slightly more cohesive, slightly more wearable, but I wanted this one. The colors just spoke to me the most. So then I picked up the Norns eyeshadow palette. So this is the one that I assume came out in this collection because they have the same name, although what do I know? So like I said, the texture is also really cool. It's got kind of like a gritty sandpaper-y texture, but I'm hoping you guys can see just the gorgeous detail. These are some of the most beautiful palettes, like aesthetically on the outside, that I've ever seen. So this is the first one that we're talking about. So this is a 16-pan shadow palette. This is what it looks like. Some jewel tones, some mattes, some sparkles. I've never tried this formula before. I'm really looking forward to it. Although I don't think that this is the one I'm going to play in today. I'm definitely going to be choosing between one of the other two. But I do love this. It's got some really fun, bright colors. Some of the shimmers in the bottom kind of have like a multi-chrome sort of effect. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited to eventually play with that palette. Next one is the Alva palette. So this is the original Alva. Again, the texture on the palettes is the same, kind of gritty, sort of sandpaper-y, but not so rough, if you know what I mean. Sort of hard to explain. And this is what this one looks like. It's just very neutral, very like purpley with golds, very spring-like to me. I am obsessed. Now, having said that, is this the most unique of palettes? Honestly, no, probably not. I feel like I've seen a ton of other brands do palettes like this, but I did want one that had more neutrals, that was more wearable, that I'd be more likely to reach for frequently, and this seemed like it for me because although there are a lot of brands that make palettes with this color story, I don't personally have any. So we're either going to be playing with that one or we're going to be playing with the Alva 2 eyeshadow palette. So this is the second one of that collection. Again, stunning graphics on the palette, really cool texture. It's kind of like a glittery sort of texture. And this is what this one looks like. So this one is more pastels. Now, I don't have a lot of pastel palettes, which is why I came after this one. I don't know. I don't know how wearable it's going to be. I don't know how often I'm going to reach for it, but it was just a lot of fun. I love like the blues and the greens, but they've also thrown in some like browns and, you know, more orangey tones just to, again, sort of give you a footing and a stability in the palette in my mind. Like, as much fun as it is to do all of these fun blues and things like that, I think we're going to play with the original Alva today. I am really looking forward to playing with this one, but I think that that's going to need to be a day where I've got a little bit more planning into it. I've really thought about what I'm doing, and this one just seems a little bit easier to go into. So we're going to go into this. Now, I'm not going to do swatches on my arm because it just makes the video really long, but if that's something you guys do want, you can let me know and I can always upload those in the future, or maybe I can put them on my Instagram. just let me know. So I don't know exactly what my plan is. I've had a little peek at the palette to sort of pick out some colors I want to start with. Also, since I do normally mention it, there are small mirrors in these palettes. They feel more like foiled cardstock than like an actual glass mirror, but in my mind that doesn't really matter. So long as you can see your reflection pretty clearly, like that's the whole point. So first we're gonna go into this top color at the top. This color at the top, it is Jasmine. It is a matte. This is going to be my first experience with their shadows. First thing I will say, there was, I'm hoping you guys can see it, if it focuses, some kickback on the palette, not a ton. Just means it's probably a softer formula, but it did pick up fairly nicely on the brush. I did tap it off, so let's just try it. So immediately I'm getting color payoff, which is, oh, it's so pretty. This is a really nice color. It's kind of like a peachy color, but not so light of a peachy that it looks like my skin tone, which is a problem that I do have from time to time. I'm also trying a new foundation out today, and so far I'm not really liking it, which is too bad because I thought I would. The way that it sounded at the store was that it was very, very like sheer and, you know, whatever. And honestly, I found it very thick. I find that it's sitting in a lot of places on my pores that I don't like. So that might be one that has to go back to the store. The color's fine. I did pick it up at Sephora, but I'm not a big fan of it. I will probably talk about it in a subsequent video. I'm not too sure yet. Just warning you guys that I don't like it, because I think that's something you should know, especially because I do use a lot of sheer foundations, and I find a lot of people don't use those on, it's hard to say, on YouTube. A lot of people are into more full coverage stuff, and I'm not, because, you know, I don't like feeling so covered. I don't know, it's just a personal opinion. Next we're gonna go into Lotus. That's this purplish color right in the middle. I guess it's not right in the middle, but you know what I mean. Again, it picked up really, really nicely on the brush. And it's going on absolutely beautifully. I hope I'm close enough for you guys. I do apologize. Just get nice and tight. Sort of like a pinky purple, lilac-y kind of color. Really pretty though. These are some of my favorite shades for like transitional shades. I find that they can work really pretty in like neutral looks or pink looks or red looks, purple looks. These sort of colors where it's kind of like a neutral purpley pink go really well with a lot of other colors. Blues, greens. This is probably a tiny bit more on the pinky purple side than I would normally go for one of those type of colors, but still really, really nice. Next up, I think I want to do, like Morning Glory, which is this shade right here. It's got a little bit of a red tone. So far I've only played in the mattes, and I feel like they're really, really good. They're blending nicely together. They're not muddying. They're kind of like working cohesively but also standing alone, which is kind of like a weird concept to think about. That's a really pretty color as well. Just to darken up that crease area a little bit. Like that. Now I do have one more matte color that I do want to get into and put it kind of in the outer corner. Let's do that with a bit of a tighter brush. I normally don't show you guys my brushes. Sorry, if you want to see them, let me know. So I've got just a bit of a tighter brush, and I'm kind of gonna dot that, drag it slightly along the lash line. Now looking at this color now, it actually might make for like a pretty liner. So I might transition it to that. I'll kind of put it here for now, but then I'm going to go in with the other color I was thinking about doing this, which is the shade Coffee Bean. It's going to be our first shimmer. I do want to see how it applies with a brush. It might be no good. Sometimes these sort of colors that are shimmers. I also apologize, you're talking to the back of my head, or I'm talking to you guys not looking at you. Don't go on as well with brushes. They're more like meant for fingers, but we'll see. So I'm going to take Coffee Bean. I've just got a tiny, tiny brush. think the whole thing about using your finger for shimmer shadows is that it's going to keep the shimmer there, where sometimes when you use a brush you lose some of the glitter, but I'm not really that mad about that right now. So I think that's the one thing I would say that this palette is missing for me personally. I would like a dark brown matte shade. Not that this shade Coffee Bean is not absolutely stunning. It's just not going on quite like I would like it to. I'm going to try and use my finger a little bit. Yeah, so these definitely are meant to be put on with your finger, I would say, over a brush. They're very, very soft texture. They're very pigmented, but I guess that's just something that I will get used to in using their formula, is using my fingertip instead of a brush, which is no big deal. So I want to put a color underneath my eye as well, possibly even 2 colors. So let's do Morning Glory or Lotus. Let's do Lotus. That's that kind of like purplish sort of color. Just smoke it out on the lash line a little bit. Like that. Now we're going to pick a color. So I think for over my lid, I want to use the color, oh man, there's a lot of really nice shimmers in here, like really pretty. It's more of a case, do I want to stick to kind of like a purpley thing, or do I want to come in with some of that champagne? I think we're going to use Dandelion. It's this one right here. It's got a bit of champagne and a bit of purple, so I'm not fully straying away from the purple, so we're going to use that. This is what it looks like. How pretty. Certainly more goldeny than it looked in the palette, but that's fine. I feel like this is another one of those shadows that's really just going to pick up whatever you put it with. So if you put it with like oranges, it's going to go orange. If you put it with pinks and purples, it might go pink. I don't know. It's pretty though. Yeah, the shimmers definitely go on better with your fingers. I'm going to take the color Golden Tulpa right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. And I'm going to use that to brighten my inner corner. Just like that. Now, this is something that I've only started doing recently, but I think it looks really pretty when done properly, and it's a really good opportunity to just add some more color. So I'm going to take the shade Sunflower, which is like this golden orange kind of tone, and I'm going to take a, what are these called? Angled brush, and I'm going to put it in my waterline. Or, you know, on my eyeball. If you're not comfortable with things super close to your eye or in your waterline, you could also just drag this color kind of along your bottom lash line. I just want a little bit more separation. And because it is like an orange, it's going to sort of do a brightening effect, although I think because I poked myself in the eye with it, it might be giving me a kind of bloodshot effect. So just like that, but like I said, you could easily just take it and smoke it out along your bottom lash line, but since we already did that, I wanted to put it in a little bit different of a place. It's not super standout-ish. I think if I had used the color Daisy, which is like the bright matte yellow, it would have stood out a little bit more. Now I want to go back into the color Peony with that same brush. It's another thing I've been doing kind of like a little bit more lately. And I'm going to use that on my lash line. Now I am also going to put, I think, a brown liner on. But what I found that I do enjoy doing, and I talked about this recently in my Urban Decay Wild Greens video, I don't like to wing my liner, so the closest that I will ever get to doing it is taking a color like this, and also you can see how much framing that's done around my lid just by putting a little bit of that dark purple on. I will take a bit of this purple and kind of like flick it outwards. It gives almost like an illusion wing where it's not so crazy like black or brown or like eyeliner, but it still looks really, really cool. So just like that. And you can go as far or as not far as you want, and you can connect it as much or as little as you want, because at the end of the day, you are going to be going back over your line, not all the way out, but most of your line with some eyeliner. Now I just got to make them match. And that's the other thing. If you're like me and you struggle to make winged liner match up, this is a good way to practice, because it really doesn't matter all that much in my personal opinion. So this one for sure goes higher, this one goes a little more out, but I don't think it matters that much because I don't think it's that noticeable. And you can always blend out a little bit with it. It just sort of changes the shape of your eyes a little bit without being so harsh and drastic as doing it with like a felt liner, either black or brown. So I'm going to take a brown felt liner. This is my KVD Beauty tattoo liner in Mad Max Brown. It is my favorite brown liner, although if somebody else knows of another one that I should be trying, please feel free to let me know, because I really only have this one and then a bunch of black ones. And again, I'm trying to stay nice and tight to my waterline. I guess not my waterline, my lash line. Just like that. So that's just going to darken it up a little bit, but you'll notice I never carried it past my outer corner. So all you're getting is that. Now, something that might look really pretty is if I go back in with that original color, which is here. Now, I didn't add any more to the brush, and I just sort of like go out a little further, kind of match up to where that line is. It might make it look a little less dark, a little less drastic. Depends on what kind of look you're going for. So I say I did a pretty good job of keeping nice and tight to my lash lines. All this is missing is some mascara. I'm going to put that on, then we're going to come back and do a lip and finish up. Alrighty, so now that I've got mascara on, I'm also using my Urban Decay Wild Lash Mascara. I've been really enjoying this lately, just in case you guys are curious. Now that I have that on, my eye look is done. At least I think it looks pretty good. Honestly, with this little wing thing that I did, I find that it does look a little bit better if you do it with green tones, as I did using my Wild Greens palette, or even dark browns or smoky colors. I think it can look a little bit nicer. I feel like this is a little bit stark, a little bit obvious, but we're gonna go with it. So the last thing that we're gonna talk about super quickly, I did pick up a few lipsticks from them. So once again, these came out in the Alva collection, I believe. These are these Kiss of Fairy lipstick. It's spelled weird, but that's okay. So one is a cream lipstick and one is a velvet lipstick. Once again, I just wanted to show you guys the boxes really, really quickly. How absolutely stunning they are. They've got like a little face on it where the lips are really amplified. This is what the actual lipsticks look like. So they are, I guess, slightly different in color. One is more beige, one is more pink. So the velvet lipstick is this one, and this is the cream lipstick. Honestly, they're in almost the exact same color, just different formulas. I'm not sure if you guys can see that there. So I will do a quick swatch on my hand. So I thought they were going to be more peachy, to be honest. They're more like a dark peach or an apricot color. So one is in Love Jasmine and one is in Light Peach. So Light Peach and Love Jasmine. I think we're going to be using the Love Jasmine one today. I've been really into cream lipsticks lately. I don't know if that's just because my lips are always chapped. We're going to use this one. Guess I should do this in a mirror, not just in my camera. Okay, so it's got really nice coverage, really nice texture feel to it, really soft and creamy. So that is everything for this video. So how do I feel about everything? The highlighter is pretty. I'm not 100% sold on it yet. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more playing around. I can definitely see where it's picked up. It is super subtle. It is a little bit more glittery than I would normally go for, but still really pretty. The eyeshadows I'm very impressed with. I really like the mattes. I think that they're so good. They blended so well. Really good pigmentation as well. I would just say that in terms of like some of the foils and the shimmers, I just need to figure out the best way to use them, and that just comes with practice, like anything. And the lipsticks, like I said, the shades weren't exactly what I was planning on, but really, really comfortable, really, really nice. And even the velvet one, which is more of a matte finish, still feels nice and creamy. It doesn't feel too drying. So that is great. So like I said, I will link all of the products down below if you guys want to get your hands on any of this stuff. Also, if you want to see me try out any of the other palettes on my channel for you guys, please let me know. Or if you want like swatches, I can either do swatch videos or I can figure out a way to put that on my Instagram. I've been saying for forever that I need to start posting there more, and I really do want to do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.